Well, it is the 19th of June, 2019. It's just past 7. Sorry we're a little bit late today, but, what's that between friends? The news today is all on bits of paper. You can see them with our nice smart board here. And I hope you'll help me to tuck into it because it's just you and me tonight. So just draw up a bit closer to the screen there. Open your ears and let's see what we've got for you. First thing up, really, I suppose, is that the Tory party leadership contest is, they had another vote today, but Rory Stewart's been pushed out of that particular race now. He's a goner. But then we're going to go on about the Scottish economy. Now, a few days ago, Keith Brown was here, and the first bit of news that we did with him, I think, was about the economy of the UK, and it was falling by 4% then in April. The economy of the entire of the UK today, and it's just been announced only a few moments ago, has shrunk by 7%. So that's quite a lot, 0.7%. And so in contrast to that, the Scottish economy has grown by 0.5%. So the whole of the UK has gone down by 0.7%, but the Scottish economy has grown by 5%. And that's according to the chief statistician of Scotland today. The main indicator of economic growth is the change in GDP, gross domestic product. But also there's another indicator, which is gross domestic product per person. And that gives often a different story. But the first estimates of Scotland's GDP statistics covering the period from January to March 2019 shows that the economy grew by 0.5% in real terms compared to the previous quarter. And over the year compared to the first quarter of 2018, the Scottish economy has grown by 1.4%. So it's a good result. The construction industry grew by 2%. The production output was up by 1.8%, and service output was up by 0.1%. Two subsections of manufacturing, that's the food and drink and pharmaceutical related industries, account for more than half of the 0.05% this quarter. Some surveys have linked this to an increase in manufacturing and stockpiling for Brexit. So we have to watch the figures as we go by, because I'm sure people who've been stockpiling those things will have to use a lot of that stuff before it goes out of date or etc. So the second estimate for Scotland's GDP for the 2019 quarter one will be available from the quarterly national accounts published on the 7th of August 2019. So we might like to know that in your diary. I'm sure you will. All results are seasonally adjusted and presented in real terms. That is adjusted for to remove inflation, and GDP growth is in this production. The publication relates to Scotland's onshore economy, which means it does not include output of offshore gas and oil extraction. Now, Justice Secretary Hamza Youssef was responding today to Her Majesty's Inspectorate of Prisons independent review of mental health services for young people in custody. One of the things about this is they're going to trial in-cell telephones. Now, that's not cell phones as the Americans call mobile phones. That's having a proper an old-fashioned phone that's plugged into the wall, and the prison service will be able to direct it to make only certain numbers to certain calls. Certain calls to certain numbers, I beg your pardon. So that's a trial of in-cell phones. And then Mr. Youssef also highlighted other work now underway. The development of new SPS health and well-being strategy, including bespoke mental health strategy for young people, a renewed commitment to ensuring alternatives to remand are available for young people, while supporting those who the courts remand in custody. SPS will stop routine body searching of under 18s in custody, and in line with the development of the new female custodial estate, SPS will adopt a more trauma-informed approach to this searching process for women. Multi-agency work to improve information sharing between the different agencies supporting the care of young people entering and held at Polmont. The statement of the Scottish Parliament, in his statement to the Scottish Parliament, Hamza Youssef said, supporting positive family contact throughout someone's time in prison has wide-ranging benefits for the individual and their families, and it reduced the risk of reoffending. So there's quite a lot about that, I think, already. So let's move on to the next story, which is the big climate conversation. Now, this is a nationwide conversation to discuss action to tackle the global climate emergency, and it will take place in Scotland this summer. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon confirmed today. Now, alongside that, of course, we discussed the Extinction Rebellion a few times on this programme, and somebody from that group got arrested in Edinburgh today, so they've been active once more. But let's go back to the First Minister, and she was speaking ahead of an address to the World Forum on Climate Justice. The First Minister highlighted the progress that had already been made to reduce emissions from Scotland. Our public engagement programme under the Big Climate Conversation will launch next week. There will be a consultation event around the country with communities and businesses who we will help organisations to stage their own events, and we will call organisations to stage events that will reach many more people through digital communications. Now, there's a huge bill for 15-year delay to submarine decommissioning. I think we showed you some pictures of submarines lying in dock. These are submarines which were the Polaris and the old Trident things that have been waiting around in the water. Now, the SNP hit out at the UK government's incompetence as a new Commons Committee report revealed that the risk of a £30 million bll due to delays in submarine dismantling. The Public Account Committee report highlighted that the Ministry of Defence failure to dispose of retired submarines ditched in 1980 was unacceptable and unnecessary. The committee found that the MOD is reaching crisis point as it will be without storage by the mid-2020s. Despite making commitment to dismantle one submarine, the Swiftsure, by 2023, that target will not have been met, and the work will not be set to be complete until around 2026. Commenting on this was Douglas Chapman MP. Now, I wonder if they're building in the end of life in all these new big boats they've been building, like the Queen Elizabeth that was in Rothesay a couple of weeks ago. I don't know, but I wonder if they have. But it kind of ties into the story before. Here's a different story. This is about alcohol, and apparently alcohol sales fall to a 25-year low. There's positive signs of impact of the minimum unit pricing on alcohol sales. The volume of alcohol sold per adult in Scotland in 2018 has fallen to its lowest level since 1994. The first expert analysis shows a 3% fall in alcohol sales per adult in Scotland from the previous year. The volume of pure alcohol sold per adult in Scotland in 2018 fell to the lowest level since 1994. That's 9.9 litres of pure alcohol per adult in 2018. I read somewhere that's 40 bottles of vodka. The equivalent of 19.0 units of alcohol per adult per week. But I think that the health people would prefer it be 14 units rather than 19. The Scottish Schools Adolescent Lifestyle and Substance Abuse Survey shows that adult alcohol consumption among young people has been declining since the early 2000s. Overall, the proportion of 13-year-olds reporting ever to have drunk has fallen from 49% in 1990 to 28% in 2015, and for 15-year-olds from 84% in 1990 to 66% in 2015. Large decreases in the population of children reporting drinking in the last week have also been seen over the time. For 13 years, this has fallen from 23% in 2002 to 4% and in 2015. And for 15-year-olds, that was from 46% in 2002 to 17% in 2015. And I think that's interesting because there is a number of people every day. Let me shuffle. Here it is. Look, there are 22 alcoholic deaths per week. That means 22 deaths that can be attributed directly to alcohol per week. And that's 683 hospital admissions every week from the consumption of alcohol. And of course, there is always bits in the newspapers that say you can drink this and you can't drink that one week and you can drink this week. But it's a very interesting idea. So let's see what Jean Friedman had to say. She's the health secretary, of course. She says, this is a promising start following our world-leading action to introduce minimum unit pricing. And with this 3% fall, we are moving in the right direction. There are, on average, 22 alcohol-specific deaths every week in Scotland and 683 hospital admissions. Behind every one of these statistics is a person, a family, a community badly affected by alcohol harm. Given the clear, proven link between the consumption and harm, minimum unit pricing is the most effective and efficient way to tackle the cheap, high-strength alcohol that causes so much harm to so many families. So, the next piece of paper. Oh, we've done this bit. We've done this bit. And 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 we've done this bit. Aha. And we've done this bit too. So, I've got one more story for you. As I've said to you many times, we do this totally without a budget. And it's just what we can do. But what we tell you is spot on. So keep listening and maybe help us by contributing a little bit to help us get some more people involved. Okay, Ruth Davidson rewrites history over Boris lies. Ruth Davidson has today been exposed for denying calling Boris Johnson a liar, despite doing so in front of a 6,000 strong crowd at Wembley Arena and a TV audience of 4 million people. The Scots Tory leader told the Today programme this morning, "I didn't call him," that's Boris Johnson, "a liar. I said that people out there deserve the truth. However, the record shows that she clearly stated 4 times during the 2016 TV debate that Boris Johnson and the Leave campaign were lying to people over Brexit. The SNP has said Ms Davison's comments show she cannot be trusted and is desperately seeking to rewrite history with Boris Johnson on a course to become the next Prime Minister. Deputy Leader of the SNP, Keith Brown, said Ruth Davison cannot be trusted. She called Boris Johnson a liar in front of 4 million people and now is trying to rewrite history. That's because the writing's on the wall. This hardline Tory she called a liar is about to become her new boss, the new leader of her party and our next Prime Minister. Ruth Davison is desperately backpedaling in hope of hanging on to her own job. Well, that's what we've got for you this evening. Tomorrow is Thursday. That's Gordon Ross's evening, and I'm sure Gordon will have a stash of things to tell you. Then Sunday will be the full Scottish, I hope with Corrie Wilson, and then Monday, hopefully I'll be back here again. So thanks for your commitment in watching us. Please tell your friends. Oh, hang on, I've got a message in my ear. Gordon's not going to be with us tomorrow, but we're going to Dingwall. Live from Dingwall. Oh, is that special show? And can I tell that to people? Well, I wish I could be there really, but I've got to go somewhere else. They're going to be up with Ian Blackford and Murray Black, I believe, at Dingwall tomorrow. So tune in and watch that one. It'll be fun. It'll be exciting. I dare say Victoria might be involved with that one. I don't know. But I'm only guessing. But whatever it'll be good. And you have a nice evening. And thanks for drawing up so close to the television screen. And it's nice to see you again. Thank you. Bye-bye.